Yes, guys, we can start now. Today, we are going to be focalized on what we call DHCP server, right? Let me try first to share my screen in order for you to see what we are going to be doing today. Right? So you have to master this topic in order for you to understand some of the concepts that will come after. Right? You know that when you are dealing with this IP address, right? So let's say you have an IP address, right? There are two ways you can assign this IP address to devices, right? So how many ways? So two ways, right? So you can assign a particular device an IP address by using what? Two ways, right? And those two ways are the static and what? The static way and the dynamic way, right? Those guys who are sitting behind there, I was saying this, there are two ways you can assign a computer or a device an IP address, right? There is what we call a static way and a dynamic way, right? So static way, it's also called manually or manual way. So static or manual, right? So static way means you as an administrator, you have to go manually to every device. So an admin must assign right? So you as an admin, you have to assign your devices, your IP address manually, right? This is the meaning, right? You have to go to every device. You are punching the IP, right? We call that way a static way, right? But by doing so, you are going to encounter like problems, right? When you are doing the static assignments, you are going to have problems, right? You are going to end up by having some issues. What are those issues? So time consuming, right? So when you are assigning the devices, your IP addresses manually, you are wasting time. So let's assume you have 100 computers that you have to assign an IP address, right? When you are going to every computer, you are wasting time, right? Number two, right? You can do mistakes, right? You can punch a wrong IP. Maybe it's 192.168.1.2, you can say .3. You can do mistakes because you got so many IPs, so many devices. Some companies got 10,000 computers. How can you go to those 10,000 computers and start assigning manually those IPs, right? You can do mistakes. You can repeat, like repetition is also a problem. Or technically we call it redundancy. So redundancy means you are repeating the same IP twice or multiple times. Right? So this is the problem with DHCP. When you are going, no, not the problem with DHCP, the problem with manually, right? Static way of assigning an IP address, right? Those are the issues, right? You are consuming time, you can do mistakes, you can repeat one IP multiple times, right? Now, to avoid those issues, right? So to avoid those issues, right? So they came up with what? Automatic way or dynamic way, right? For you to avoid those three issues, they came up with what? Dynamic or automatic way, right? So you as a specialist, you know that for me to avoid those issues, so I can go for what? For dynamic way or automatic way by using what we call a DHCP saver. So did you understand? For you to avoid those issues like above here, those issues, right? I don't know which color, yeah. Those three issues, you can go for dynamic or automatic way, right? Did you understand? But for you to accomplish this, for you to assign your devices, those IPs automatically, right? You need what we call a DHCP saver, right? Did you understand? This DHCP saver can be a router or a physical computer that we call a saver, right? Did you understand, guys? I'm going slowly by slowly in order for you to understand, because I saw some guys, they're configuring the telephone lines, but they didn't know why they are doing so. And so that I'm breaking this concept first, small. So you need a router, right? So your DHCP saver can be a router, right? So you can configure your router to behave as a DHCP saver. When you configure it like that, that router will start assigning the IPs to what? To devices. There is no need for you again to go to every computer or every device and assign an IP. You are going just to tell your computer, fetch the IP from the router, right? So a router can be a DHCP saver, but it's your responsibility to make it a DHCP saver, right? So if your router becomes a DHCP saver, what does it mean? A router now will start assigning the IPs to devices, right? But beside that, you can also take a computer. That's gonna be what? Your saver. And that computer will start doing also what? Assigning the IPs to other computers. So that computer, you're gonna call it also a saver, right? Remember, guys, when you go maybe by the restaurant, there is a wireless, right? You are asking for the password, right? That password that you are asking is not the one that will allow you to connect to the internet. That password is just something to identify you, right? But when you punch your password, normally the router from the restaurant will give you an IP automatically, right? Because it's only an IP address that can allow you to be connected to the internet. It's not that Wi-Fi password that you're asking, right? So when you're asking that Wi-Fi password, so it's just a way to identify you, like to give you the access to the device. But the one that will allow you now to be connected to the internet is what? The DHCP server from the router or from the wireless access point. So if you can go to your wireless access point, you put that DHCP off. What does it mean? You can get a password, but you cannot be connected. You cannot be connected because you cannot get an IP. There is no IP, right? Did you understand now, right? So this DHCP server will solve those issues that we spoke, right? Any question before moving from the configurations, right? Now, there are some devices, right? Like in your company, there are some devices that you need to give them a static like IP. It's a must, right? Some devices required static IP. This is a must, right? There are some devices that you need yourself to give them an IP address manually, right? So if you got your company, you got your network, you must know that some IPs or some devices required a manual IP. Like what? Like printers, right? Printers need manual IPs. You have to go there, you punch those IPs, right? Cameras. Sometimes even your servers, right? So some devices in your company, you have to give them a manual IP, a static IP, right? Now the reason why you have to give those devices like manual IPs, right? Why you have to do so, right? Why am I saying like some devices required a static IP, right? Because static IP cannot change. Guys, suppose like you reboot your server, you reboot your wireless access point, you reboot your router, right? When you reboot your router, the IPs can change, right? It means this, you got your computers, right? Your computers can get the IP from the server, right? From the DHCP server. When you reboot that DHCP server, or maybe there's a power cut, right? When you're gonna bring it on, the IPs will change, right? Because those IPs, they are coming randomly, right? Those IPs from the DHCP server will come randomly. What does it mean? So today you can get this IP, tomorrow you can get this one, right? And when you are changing the IPs, sometimes you can lose the connection, right? So like your printer, you cannot allow your printer to start also changing the IPs because somebody can try to print while the printer is changing the IPs, right? Or the server, or the cameras. Those devices required a static IP, right? Did you understand, guys? I'm saying this. When you allow your computer to receive an IP from the server, from the DHCP server, what's gonna happen, right? That IP won't gonna be permanent, right? That IP can start what? Changing. Like today you can get this IP, tomorrow you can get these ones and so on, right? And when your computer will start like changing the IPs, sometimes you can lose the connection, right? So you don't want that when you are using a printer, right? Because a printer, people are printing. So you don't want like the printer to have an automatic IP because that one will start like changing, like your cameras, like your server. Those one requires a static IP, right? Guys, is it clear? Yes, there are some devices like in your company, you don't want those devices to change the IPs, right? Because when those devices are trying to get a new IP, they are going to lose the connections, right? And when they are losing the connections, suppose like it's your printer and your printer will lose the connectivity, how people will print, right? Any questions from where we started and from where we are, right? Now, let's go from the configuration side. I will show you how to configure what? The DHCP server. How to make a router like a DHCP server and how to make a particular computer as a DHCP server, right? What you must do, you can go to your packet tracer, right? Oh, what does it mean? They cannot log in. So we can just maybe drag and drop 2 computers. Yeah, maybe I can also put like a laptop, I like it. So I can put a tablet there also, right? There's a tablet, like somebody wanna get connected also. So I can put a TV if you want. But because those two are dealing with wireless, so I don't wanna use them now. Hey, what happened? I'm just, okay. Because those ones they're gonna deal with wireless. I'm gonna show you on wireless side. So 3 computers, you can have a switch, guys. And you can have a router here. I like this one. Yeah, any switch. You can connect your computers to the switch. You can run your cables to any, there's no problem here. To any port, but you can go logically. And you can connect from the router, gigabit 0/1, and you must use the same port as myself because of the configurations, but you can use your own, but make sure that you change. Now, we want this router to be a DHCP server. right? But I've never even like told you like this DHCP means what? It means dynamic. DHCP, D means what? Dynamic. The H means host. Dynamic host. A host is any device that can get an IP address. So dynamic host configuration protocol. Right? This is the meaning of this DHCP. Dynamic, that H it hosts, C it's configuration protocol. So it's a protocol for assigning automatically IP addresses to hosts or to devices. A protocol is a computer program, right? So this DHCP is just a computer program for assigning the IP addresses to devices, right? Dynamic host configuration protocol. Now we're gonna go from the configuration side, right? So from step number 1, we have to enable, we have to activate this gigabit 0/0 from the router, right? So I can write it down. The steps. So step 1 is the cabling part. From step number 2, what? We have to enable or what? We have to bring on the interfaces. Bring on the interface from the router. Step 3, we have to assign it an IP address. So those are the steps first for now. What we are going, it brings on. Or bring on. Bring on, thank you. So the cabling is done. Step number 2, we are going to bring on that interface. Step number 3, we are going to assign. So what have I said here? Yeah, this is turn on. It's the same thing. And we are going to assign what? An IP address to that one. And we're gonna go there. We can console or not. Okay, let's console. Because sometimes guys don't like the. Okay. You can go to your laptop. I like a big screen, desktop. Yeah, telnet. Enable. Let's configure terminal, right? Which interface? The interface is which one? 0/0. All right. The interface 0/0 must be on. No shutdown. Right? You bring it on. After bringing it on, step number 3, you have to assign it an IP address. Right? Remember, guys, the IP you are assigning to that interface, this is the default gateway, right? I'm just waiting for you for a few minutes, guys. right? Yeah, did you understand? Okay, now we are done, right? When you are done, we can exit, right? And we're gonna go to step number 4. Step number 4, we need to create a domain. We need a domain, right? We have to choose a domain, right? By using the command dhcp, like a domain, or you can call it a pool. It's like a domain, right? You can call it a pool. What does it mean by a pool, right? That pool or a domain is the one that will keep like all your IPs, right? So your IPs will be managed by a pool, right? It's like you are creating a basket where all the IPs will come from, right? Like you have a pool, like a basket, like a family that will keep like all your IPs. So now we're gonna say what? IP DHCP. If you forgot, you must use the question mark because I know that you are not a robot, right? You can know the way it started, but you must get used to question mark, like IP DHCP. When you forgot, you press the question mark, right? So the question mark will give you like all the options that you are looking for, right? So we are looking for what? We are looking for the pool, right? So you're gonna add by what? By pool, right? After pool, what's gonna come next? If you forgot again, you're gonna say question mark, right? They will tell you it's a word. Word means like a name that you're gonna choose by yourself. You can say Saba IP distribution or Saba IP. Let me just make it short, right? So this part, guys, what does it mean, right? We need to create like a basket, something that will keep and distribute like all our IPs. So we call it like a pool. But how to create it? It's IP space, DHCP space, pool space, you give it a name, like a family name, right? Now, when you are done, right, you must get used to what? To question mark. You can even like ask yourself, what am I looking for? Like we need like a default gateway, domain name, and so on, like the DNS and so on, right? But for you to remember, because you are not robot, right? For you to memorize like all the commands, but you must know how to get them. Like from here, you can ask yourself, okay, what's come after? You're gonna press what? Question mark, right? So they will tell you, so what's gonna, so when you are done with IP space, DHCP space, pool space, your name, you can pick up one of those options here, right? So this is the way you can remember about something that you are looking for, right? Now we're gonna go to step number 5, right? Step number 5, we need to precise the default gateway. Right? We need to choose the default gateway that's gonna be used, right? Because we are going to give the computers the IP addresses, but we are not only giving them the IPs, we are telling them also what? The default gateway, how to reach other networks. So we are going to precise the default gateway. So what is the command? It's default router. So this is the command that we're gonna use. Right? So I'm gonna share this document. The recording is there. You can also go back and revise. So you are going to distribute the IPs and you're going to distribute the default gateway. But the router must know what is my default gateway by myself. So you're gonna pick up here. Which one? It's here. Default router, right? You can just type D and you press tab. But if it doesn't come, E, tab, right? Default router, right? And which IP now gonna be the default gateway? The one that you assigned to that interface, right? Remember, it was this one, right? So this is your default gateway, right? This is the command for assigning a default gateway to a router. Default, right? So every device will get an IP and a default gateway automatically. But the default gateway they will get is this one, right? You can also precise the DNS, right? And you know what it's here, DNS server, right? DN, you can press tab, and same IP, you can take it as your DNS, but it depends on your infrastructure, right? So you can precise your default gateway, your DNS, right? You can or not, but I'm just giving you also because I don't want you again to ask about the DNS. Even though you don't give the DNS, it's gonna still work, right? Now, guys, right? We know already the DNS. We know the default gateway, right? But it's something that is missing, right? Which network ID we are going to use for every computer in our network. We have to precise the network ID, right? You can see here, it's here. So you're gonna just say net, you press tab, just to complete for you. So I don't wanna type like everything. So we have to precise the network ID to be used. It's gonna be 192.168.1.0. Followed by the subnet mask. Right? Okay, let me go to step 5. DNS server. This is like step 6. And step 7, it's network ID plus subnet mask. From step 7, you precise the network ID and the subnet mask, right? And from there, you are done, guys. Wait for me, please. Don't do nothing. I'm coming. It's hot now, so I have to remove my jacket. It's hot. You are dying. Why? What's happened? You still young? Hmm? You must make money before dying. Huh? Okay. We are here, right? We are done. When you are done, guys, we can copy. We can save our configuration, right? Do copy, run, start, right? because we are using the wrong mode. That's why I'm starting with do. But normally we have to go to privilege mode and type copy run start. Do copy run start. You press enter. This question means that where do you want to save your work or your configurations, right? When you are done, you can also check your configurations by saying do show run. You can see your configurations are here, right? Whatever that we configured, it's here. So I just type do show run for those who are, yeah. First, we saved the configuration from the running to the startup, and we did check, right? You can see here, guys, the configurations are there. Whatever that we configured for our, right, IPDHCP pool. Are you here, guys? Okay. Now, because you are done, right? The last step, you must go to your devices. Go to your devices. And choose DHCP, right? So what I'm gonna do now, you go to every computer, like this one, right? See, guys, I'm gonna go to this computer. I'm gonna tell this computer, right? From the IP, right? I'm gonna tell this computer, right? You are going to get your IP from where? Not manually, not static way. You're gonna get it from where? From the DHCP. Wait, you're gonna see, you see? Which IP came there? Automatically. You can see even your DNS is there. You can see your default gateway is there, right? You can go to the next computer. You can do the same. Desktop, IP, DHCP, right? The computer will request an IP from the server, right? You can see the details are coming. The IPs are coming without effort. Suppose like you are two technicians. You're gonna just send your friends, okay, go to computers, go to network, go to IP, you click to DHCP. Just like 10 seconds, the IP will come. You can go also to your laptop, you can do the same. Which one? No, the lessons are going like in order. What is saying? Okay, guys, right? This is the way you can do it. So you can also try to ping, right? If you want. 192.168.1.2. You can see how the communication is. You can try to ping, guys, between your computers. Right? Are you there? Yonela? Are you here? Did you ping also? What happened? You must be fast the way you are chatting with your, the person. I don't wanna. You guys, you are chatting 1,000 words in 1 minute. Hey, I'm coming. So, hey, you must send me this fast. You must also type like that. Huh? The way you are fast with your phones. Jabulile, Paulina, Mpo, are you done? Because we are done, now, remember guys, I told you like some devices can use what? You can do what we call reservation, right? Or exclusion, sometimes you can call it like this. So guys, sometimes you can keep some IPs, right? That you wanna give to your printers, your cameras, right? Hey, at the back there, Calvin. When you are configuring the DHCP, you have also to do what? The reservation or this exclusion. What does it mean? I told you that some IPs, you have to give them like manually to printers, like to cameras, right? Now, you have to reserve them. You have to tell your DHCP server, please DHCP, don't give those IPs to devices, right? Because you wanna give them to some of the devices, right? So you can tell your DHCP server to not giving some IPs, right? So to keep those IPs for yourself, right? So how to do it? Let's do it. Terminal. So what I'm gonna do now, right? You exit first, IP DHCP, right? Question mark. I'm looking for what? For excluded address. So I'm gonna just type like EX tab, right? So from here, I'm gonna precise the range of IPs that I don't wanna give to some of the devices. I want them to be kept for me because I'm gonna assign them what manually to servers, to printers, to cameras, right? So I can take this one, .1.2. Right? So what I'm gonna say here, the IPs from .2 to .4, don't give it to any device. Or maybe you can even go to .100, so according to the class, right? You can also start from 20 from wherever. So you say IP space DHCP excluded. From this IP, first IP, don't give this one. Don't give .3, don't give .4 to devices, right? So your computers will start from what? From .5, right? Sometimes you can, so this one is your own choice. You can say from .20 to .50, right? Now, when you are done, right? Let's verify it. First, do copy run start. No, just space. .2 space. Right? Yes. This one. No, you don't want some of the IPs to be given like automatically, right? Because you wanna use them for yourself, right? Now you're gonna say, don't give this IP to any device. But it's starting from where? From .2, but there is also .3. So the last one is what? Yeah, .4. So you only put the minimum and the maximum. The lowest IP and the highest. But it's gonna include all like between, right? Now when you are done, right? Okay, let's go to computers now. Let's check, right? So you go to your computer, right? First, you must go to static and request again. You click on static first. And you're gonna request again, right? When you request again, you're gonna see the first IP. Oh, still coming .1, but should come dot, I don't know. Okay, let's try this one. If it's gonna still taking the same one because we excluded. Yeah. You can see starting from .5. All right. When you go here also, you can see it's gonna be, yeah, .6. Right? We excluded those other IPs, right? Guys, any question? So I'm gonna take the second exercise. Again, when we are done, I will take the save at the actual computer again, and I'm gonna take the wireless again. For this one, we are done, right? What's the problem? The computers. Now you're gonna say the question mark because you don't want to make mistakes. See what you So guys, for you to configure this, it's very easy, right? You enable the interface. Guys, you enable the interface from the router. You choose your pool. You assign your interface like an IP. You choose your network ID. You choose your default gateway. You choose your DNS. You can exclude some IPs. You are done. Right? Let's now do like another design. Right? So I'm gonna have maybe like 2 computers here. Right? So I can have like 2 switches. Right? Now we're gonna have like 2 switches. Now I'm gonna have 1 router here. Oh, okay, the guys who still configuring, those are the comment here. Maybe if you are late, I'm just giving, yeah. So are you done with IP, Dhcp excluded? Everybody's done. But anyway, the recording is there. You can go back and check wherever you went, whatever you did wrong. The recording is there. Now from here, we're gonna have like two switches, right? This is the new exercise for you to master this concept, right? So you can do it this design like this, and we are going to see how to configure it. How to configure the Dhcp, right? Some guys are not talking, they're quiet. Is it working where you are? But don't worry, the recording is there. You are lucky, you can go back and check again, right? Because if I wanna wait for everybody, we will go up to 1. because I have to go and check, hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We're going to go up to 1. It's better first to finish and come and check later on, right? Are you done with this design? My friend there, done with this one, right? Guys, you have to remember this. Every connection from the router, every port from the router, it's a network, right? So how many connectivity are here from the router? 2, right? Means it's 2 networks, right? 2 different networks. And when we are talking about those 2 different networks, means 2 default gateways, 2 DNS, right? Guys, when you have a router, when I'm gonna give you like an exercise, maybe with 3 connectivities from the router, you must know like every connectivity from the router, it's a network. Like here, there are two cables, means 2 networks, 2 network IDs, 2 pools, right? Right, guys? Now, so we're gonna create what? 2 pools, 2 default gateways, 2 DNS, and so on, right? So these guys, they're gonna have their own network. This one also their own network, because we are dealing with a router. Every port is a network. Every port required its own IP, right? So you can even draw it like somewhere if you want. I'm gonna check my favorite color is this one. I like this color a lot. And for this network, the IP we can pick up for this one, ID maybe dot 10.0/24. For this one, 192.168.20.0 slash, right? And remember the default gateway, so it's gonna be this IP .1. This one also gonna be the .1, right? Guys, 192.168.20.0. Guys, don't forget about this. Every connection from the router is a network. When we are talking about a network, we are talking about a unique IP, unique ID. That's gonna be different from the other one, right? Don't do that. You are dealing with router, you have maybe 4 connectivities and you are keeping the same network ID. No. Router will separate networks. This is the whole idea of a router, separating networks. Right? Now, we want this router. Which color I can pick up? Okay. Not too clear. I can pick up this one. So this one, we want it. So this is what's gonna be our DHCP server, right? And this pool here, we can create another pool. So we can call it, our pool is gonna be Saba 1. This pool here, it can be Saba 2, right? So from the green network, we have like our pool name is Saba 1. For the yellow one, we have our pool name, it's about 2. Right? When I'm gonna give you an exercise, oh guys, don't use these IPs and so on, you must know that we are talking about reservation. We are talking about the exclusion. Right? You must always get used to put some notes on top of your configurations, right? Are you done? Don't worry, the recording is there. Okay, we can move forward now. We can console if we want. Let me just bring the laptop somewhere there so that I can console. I want this laptop here. I can console. Hey, what's the plug? Okay, maybe I'm full also. My stomach is full, maybe that way I'm making mistakes. Yeah. Somebody cooked for me nicely yesterday, so I'm full. No buying food for me today, so no PAs today. Don't even come. Don't even try. Okay, let's start the configurations, guys. Terminal. You can go back to what? Guys, this part, you see this question. Would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? What does it mean? Right? Most of the time, routers can assist you, right? So routers will start like asking you questions. So what is your host name? What is your IP? What is your default gateway, right? But if you don't want like the router to assist you, that's why we are saying no. But if you say yes, router will start asking you questions and you just responding. Okay, you can say no. Enable configure terminal. You can go to your documentation, right? You can check your steps here. What is the first step? It's cabling. We are done with cabling. Step number 2, we need to bring the interfaces on, right? From the router. How many cables we do have? 2. The cable that goes to the router, there are 2, right? Because there are 2, we need to bring those 2 interfaces on, right? So we're gonna go here. It's where? It's this one. Okay. What are them? There is gigabit 0/0/0 and gigabit 0/0/1, right? So we're gonna bring them on and we're gonna move to step number 3. We're gonna assign what the IPs, right? Okay, let's do it. Interface gigabit 0/0/0, no shutdown, right? Now, when you are done with no shutdown, remember, guys, your IP was what? It's your network ID, 192.168.10.0, but you're gonna give it .1. So 192.168.10.1, 255.255.255.0, right? Are you done? Now we can give the second interface because there are 2, right? There is this one, 0/0/0 and 0/0/1 with the network ID .20.0. Interface. Hey, what did I type there? IP address 192.168.20.1. What's going on? I'm jumping so many things today, because of the nice food. Yeah, I was full yesterday, so I still full even now. Are you done, guys? So, oh, it's not even on. Let me put it on also. No shutdown. Okay. You can see they are green now. You can see, right? And when you come just next to your interface, you can see the IPs here. They will show you even those two IPs. You see, they are here. Now, we have to move to step number 4. We have to choose a pool, right? Like a family name, where the IP will start coming from. We have to choose the pool. How many pools we do have here? 2, right? IP, Dhcp. As I said, guys, when you type IP space Dhcp, you are not a robot. Maybe for the exam, yes. But you cannot keep all those things here, like IP, Dhcp, and so on. You can try with the question mark. The question mark will tell you what's gonna come next. You press question mark, right? Question mark will tell you, you wanna create a pool. This is the word you can put. It's pool that is missing. I'm gonna say pool. After pool, suppose that you forgot again. Question mark again. What's left? Name. They will tell you like a word is missing, a name. It's Sabah 1 maybe. All right? And you press what? Enter. Right? Lucky? Done? Now from here, suppose that you forgot. You say, okay, I've already created my pool. What do I want? Default gateway, DNS, or network ID, but I forgot. How to type it? Question mark. Question mark will remind you like, no, what you need a default gateway. And you cannot type like everything. You can also say D, and you press what? Tab, because you don't want to make mistake. All right? And which IP we can take? The one from Sabah 1, 192.168.10.1. All right? Space. No, there is no subnet mask. You press what? Enter. You can precise your DNS. DN tab. Same IP. Don't mind about the concept of DNS. So if you still have some issues, you're gonna master it. You press again what? Enter. You have to precise the network ID that's gonna be used for all your computers. You just type net, you press tab. When you forgot what come like after network, you can ask question mark. What must I put? They're gonna say, you need a network number. It's 10.0. When you forgot what come after, you can say question mark again. They will say the subnet mask missing. Subnet mask or net mask. All right? 255, 255, 255.0. And you press what? Enter. All right? When you are done, you can do copy run start, but you can also say do write. Do write is also the copy. You can also say do write. It's the same thing. And you press enter. All right? Are you done? Now we're gonna go to our computers. We're gonna request the IPs. You go to IP, we are going to request. We are going to tell the IP, request. You go to your PC, you tell your PC to request an IP from the router, from the DHCP server. Yes, you can see, right? But if you wanna do the exclusion, you can also do it. And you can go to the next computer, you do the same, desktops, IP, DHCP, right? And when you are done, you can ping between those two computers just to check the connectivity. You can ping 192.168.10.2, right? Okay, we are done with what? We are done with the first pool, with this network, right? The green one. Now we have to deal with what? The yellow one, right? Yonela, are you there? Means your configuration is wrong. I'm gonna come like to you later on. Let's do the yellow one, right? The pool, it's about to, the interface, we already gave it an IP, huh? Yes. Okay, what we're gonna do, we exit first. We must create a pool, IP DHCP, pool name it what? It's about to, right? Default gateway, it's 192.168.20.1, right? This is the default gateway for the yellow one. The DNS, same IP, right? Network ID, 192.168.20.0. Remember, this is 255, 255. .z 0, and you press what? You can also say do write. Do write means also the copy, right? Do WR is the same, like a shortcut, right? Now we are done with the yellow one, right? We must go to computers now. Desktops, IP. We are going to request the IPs. You can see, guys, is it coming or not? It came, huh? Nobody saying yes. Okay, IPs, I'm requesting again for this one. It's coming. We can try to ping again. Right? Guys, we are done with our two networks, right? Any question, guys? Don't ask me how now to make those two networks talk. You know already, you know all the techniques, you know, right? But you're gonna see later on. Remember that two networks cannot talk, right? Are you done, guys? Now we're gonna go for the third lab. So I need maybe two computers here. So I need a switch. This time around, I need a physical computer. That's gonna be my server, right? You run your cables. Okay, I can drop the gigabit one. Oh, because it's using the fast. Okay, let me just use the fast. Right. So this one gonna be my DHCP server. Right. So this design means this. You got a powerful computer, you make it a server, and that computer will start managing the IPs like in your network, right? That computer will start giving the IPs to every device, right? Normally, this one is it's which chapter 7, because I have to teach you about the voice, so I have to start first for you to understand this one, because we're going to use it. We use already the root on a stick, very important for the voice. DHCP also is done, and we can now move to the telephone part. When you're going to start going there, you won't going to start like asking me, why did you do this? Because everybody understood that we wanted DHCP. Okay, what you have to do, you just go to your server, right? You go to desktop, right? First, you give it an IP. The server by itself required a static IP. .1.1, you can also say, you can put it like a default gateway or not, because the default gateway is for the IP address of the router, or of the IP address of that actual computer, right? Now, when you are done, you must go here. You go to services. Static. The server by itself, the master by itself must have a static IP, because it's aimed with your computer. That server has to give to others, but I have to have my own IP first. Now, when you are done, right, those are the services you can configure. And make sure that when you finish your Ccna qualification, you know how to configure all those services. 70%, so those are the services that the company uses, those services there. So, and when you are writing your CVs, you mention about all those services that you know how to configure your data. For now, we are talking about what? DHCP, right? You click on DHCP, right? So it means that computer that's gonna be your server, right? You have to go to DHCP. Your DHCP must be activated, must be on. You make it on because it's a graphical user interface. You're gonna give it a name, right? You said, okay, my pool name is Sabatri. You right? When you are done with Sabatri, you have to precise your default gateway, 192.168.1.1. You can precise your DNS. And the start IP, what does it mean? What is the first IP that's gonna be given to my devices? This is the start IP. So I can say my start IP is gonna be 10. So first computer gonna get what? Which IP? 192.168.1.10. This is my choice. Your choice can be 2, 3, and so on, right? And this is your subnet mask, right? And you have to precise how many users you're gonna give IPs. You can limit it to what? 3. If it's 3, means what? You can come here, you ask me, what is the Wi-Fi password? I can give you the Wi-Fi password, but you cannot get an IP because it's maximum what? 3. This is the meaning. You can say maximum 20. So it depends on you because you know your infrastructure, right? And when you are done, you must say what? You must add. You must add it, right? So, and when you add it, you must click again here. You click on your pool name, you click there and you say what? You have to save it, right? First, you click on add, and you click there, you click on what? Save. And when you are done, you go to your computers, you go to desktop, you go to IP, and you request, right? Why is coming .2, but it should come .10, eh? Because we said the first one gonna be .10. You go to the second one, you go to IP, you request again, right? .3. This is how you can configure. But there's only one thing that I noticed, like the start IP never got like applied. Hey, I never put it even that number here. You see? So I should put 10. I've never even did it. That's why it's starting. Yeah. I was talking, I forgot to mention my start IP. Huh? So, yes. Why? Who can answer? Why there's no default gateway? There is no router. The default gateway is a router. There is no router. There should be a router. That's why there is no default gateway. So default gateway is a concept that is linked to what? To router. It's the router that knows how to connect networks, but you don't have a router here. How are you gonna get a default gateway? Right? There must be a router. Okay, guys. So I'm done with this first part. So I'm gonna give you just an exercise. You can practice, right? My exercise will look like this. So I know you are smart, so I must give you something like challenging. No easy stuff for you guys. Because your brain still strong. You're not like me. I must give you something that's... So what I want, guys, I want just one router, right? The switches I want like 3 switches. Right? Network, I want 3. So pool name for those 3 networks. Saba 1, 2. Saba 1, 3 and Saba 1, 4. Let me first make it small. It looks like it's very huge, this one. Reservation for this one, I want you to reserve for each network don't use .25 up to 50, right? So for every network, I need only 3 computers, right? So you got 1 router, you have 3 switches, you have 3 networks. The pool names are here, there are 3. You have, and I want the class B. I don't want you to go for class A or class C, like I want you to go for class B. You know how like a class B looks like, and you know the subnet mask for class B. If you forgot, you got the NOT, you got the internet. I want the class B like to be used, and I want 3 computers per your network. All right, everything is clear. All right, everything is easy in zero. It's easy, like drinking water. Yes, guys, you can start practicing, all right?